the second American goalkeeper with 100 international caps, 2 gold medals, the Golden Glove winner in the FIFA World Cup, the greatest male and female athlete, we're told, in UW history. This is a special treat. Thanks for both being here.
Thanks for having us.
What a great scene. A long time coming.
Hey,
your alma mater.
The dogs show up, don't they? The dogs
They
show
do.
up.
The dogs are here. Hope, we haven't talked any soccer. Give me a very quick Sounders Timbers, because it's Oregon against Washington tomorrow.
Is that even a question? Sounders all the way. Timbers who?
Okay, there you go. These guys have a tradition picking upset specials.
Yes.
This guy over here has been pretty successful.
2 in a row.
2 in a row.
Right, nice going.
Who do you got? You go first.
I'm going to go with Pitt. I think Tom Savage, you said earlier he's back.
Yep.
Tyler Boyd as a receiver on one side, Devin Street on the other. They're going to go into Blacksburg, early kick, and knock off the Hokies.
I'm picking Navy over Duke in the upset.
Why?
Because I coached in Navy.
There you go.
Sound reasoning. Minutes away from kickoff. The Red River rivalry worn. Oklahoma's made it miserable for Texas the last 3 years. They're a big favorite today. What happened?
Yeah, they are. They are a big favorite, and they've dominated this series over the last 12 years or so. And Mac Brown's under a lot of pressure. I think his team comes out and plays well early, but I think too much Oklahoma in this game. I think Oklahoma wins it.
Hope?
Yeah, I'm with Warren. I'm Sooners all the way. It's been an embarrassment for the Longhorns the past few seasons. I hope it's not an embarrassment, but I'm still going for the Sooners.
Good pick. I'm picking Oklahoma also.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma's defense is going to be the difference in this game. I just think there's too much for Texas's offense.
All right, the other noon kickoff, Missouri. SEC fans saying time to step up and prove you can play big boy football. War and all those injuries for the Georgia playmakers.
Yeah, James Franklin has played really well the last week or so. He had 4 touchdown passes last week, but he goes into Athens. I think it's going to be a tough environment. I think their defense steps up, and I think Aaron Murray is a guy that just makes plays down the stretch. He'll find a way to win the game.
Georgia.
You know, it's hard to go against Georgia ever. They make things happen. They find a way to win. But today, this is my one of 2 upsets of the day. I'm going Missouri. I think it's going to be hard for Georgia after the emotional high of last weekend over the Tennessee game. I think it's going to be hard to carry that emotional high into this game. And I want Missouri to prove why they should be all contenders in the SEC.
She's absolutely right. Not so fast,
Not so
Ward.
fast?
Yes, sir. Not so fast.
What do you mean?
Missouri's going to be
fast.
way to go.
There we go.
Doing her homework. Very impressive.
She was all night with you.
Yeah, I'm with you. You talked me into it. I think Missouri finds a way. All these injuries, I think, will catch up to Georgia. I think Missouri's for real. They're a contender in the SEC.
I know you know football as well. I know you've
Breaking
been
it down.
around a lot of football in
The
your
real
house.
football or this football?
Both football and football. South Carolina and Arkansas. Clowney, apologize. He was on the team bus. He is going to play against the Razorbacks. Will he make an impact with the Gamecocks win on the road?
I think he'll make a huge impact. I think he wants to show everybody that everything that's been talked about him negatively, he's going to go out there and play big-time ball. Arkansas will try and run the football against this defense. They won't be able to do it, and I think South Carolina wins this game on the road.
I'm with Warren. You know, I learned a long time ago, you don't place bets against the old ball coach. With or without Clowney, you don't place bets against the old ball coach. I'm going South Carolina.
Nice picks. I'm going with South Carolina. Also,
nice
defense.
Nice picks because they agree with you.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to say Connor Shaw will be the difference in this football game, running and throwing. Arkansas just can't throw. They can't take any of the pressure off of Alex Collins. I think South Carolina wins.
You're jumping down there, going to play on a plane to A&M at Ole Miss tonight, so no pick on that game. Manziel against a depleted Rebels defensive line. It was a narrow escape last year. What happens in Oxford this time?
Well, it's a rested A&M team. They're coming off of a bye week. I think they have too much offense. Johnny Manziel will work his magic, no question, on the road, and they'll win this football game hands down at Ole Miss.
I agree. No excuses coming off the bye weekend. Texas A&M.
Big win. Okay.
A&M, Manziel by a touchdown and an extra point.
Look at that.
Touchdown and an extra point. I got that. I figured that out.
And they'll improve their defense over the week of having that bye.
Yeah.
Hey, there's Old Crimson. What do you guys think, you Huskies? It's time to pick the game involving the in-state rivals of both of these teams. The Beavers have won 5 out of 6 in this series. Combined, Warren, these quarterbacks, 96 attempts per game combined. A lot of passes thrown.
A lot of passes thrown, but I like Wazoo, believe it or not. I didn't think I would ever pick Wazoo in a game, but I'm picking them in the upset this week. I think Connor Holiday, their quarterback's throwing it all around the place, and they're better on defense this year.
What do you think, Hope?
I'm cheering for our little brother. I'm cheering for Wazoo.
Wow, you got two Huskies picking Wazoo.
Yeah.
Oh, flag's going.
Beloved Washington State wins it by a point.
You know, I think because Oregon State lost to Eastern Washington, people aren't respecting them. I think Sean Mannion today has a huge day throwing the football. I like Oregon State.
By a point. So
By a point.
56-55.
By a
point.
By a point.
Well, we're going to see if Warren, this Florida LSU game, which has been a cage match in recent years, if it's going to be a shootout. Mettenberger, those NFL-type receivers against that nasty Gator defense. Can't wait to see that matchup.
Yeah, Mettenberger has too many weapons on the outside. He also has that power running game inside, so good balance. I think their young defense is getting better every week. Florida's got a young quarterback going into this Tigers den on a night game, so I think LSU wins this game at home, no question about it.
So listen to this logic. My husband might divorce me if I ever cheer for Florida. I'm going LSU.
It's not worth a divorce. It's just a pick. Have a little fun.
Nice pick, Warren. Not so fast, my friend. LSU wins.
To me?
Yes, because you pick them. I know where you're going to
I am.
pick them.
That's a shocker. I think Florida can go in there. I really do. I think that the quarterback will continue to play well, but it's the Gators' defense creating turnovers. If they don't win the turnover margin, they don't win this game. I think they will. I like the Gators.
The Nittany Lions were embarrassed last week in Indiana. It's homecoming. It's a whiteout. They play Michigan for the first time in 3 years, Warren, but they've won the last 3 against the Wolverines. Gardner on the road today against Penn State.
Yeah, the problem with Michigan, they've been turning the football over, but they didn't last week. But if he turns the football over this week, I think Penn State, again, in an upset at home, big crowd, big whiteout crowd tonight. I think Penn State wins this one. Very, very close upset.
All right.
Yeah, this one was tough for me, to be honest. My gut was telling me to go Penn State, but I put on my paper here, Michigan. I have to stick with my pick with Michigan, remaining unbeaten.
That was a nice pick. Not so fast the second time against you. I go with Michigan.
I'm with you guys. This is a game you could go either way.
Right.
You could go either way.
Good.
Beginning of the show, I had Penn State because of the whiteout, but I'm with you. I'm going to go with Michigan. I think they're going to find a way to win on the road. Devin Gardner will make a play late.
Northwestern against Wisconsin. The Badgers off a bye week. Who wins this one? A shootout?
Northwestern is coming off of a hangover from last week, Ohio State. I think it's going to be tough going into Wisconsin and win this football game. Wisconsin's going to run the football. They're really tough to beat at home. So Wisconsin in this one.
Wisconsin at home. All right.
You know, I actually think Northwestern has it in the bag
That's
this
all right.
game.
In the bag?
In the bag.
Wow.
In the
Bag.
bag.
Wow, okay. You know something?
Wisconsin,
one.
big.
I think Northwestern's going to hang around.
Oh, yeah.
But I think the difference is the 2 weeks to prepare.
Yeah.
Northwestern coming off an emotional loss on the road. I think Aberderis makes enough plays. I like Wisconsin.
And now, what these folks have been waiting hours for, what they waited perhaps 9 years. Warren?
Well, they've dominated this series, no question about it, over the last 10 years. But I think Washington finally has the athletes, especially on defense, in order to make the plays. They have to tackle well, and they're going to have to be very disciplined in how they play that read option. I think Washington wins this game on a high-scoring one, 34-30.
Hope there will not be a clean sheet as in goalkeeper swim today.
I'm going for 11-0 in my picks today. But, you know, this one obviously is easy for me. Everybody thinks that Washington State is our biggest rivalry. Absolutely not. They're our little brother. The Mighty Ducks, it's time to bow down to Washington because we in Washington grew up eating apple pie.
Ah.
Look, it's a
Man,
I like that. That's a noise structure.
Okay.
Mr.
Okay.
Corso.
All right, here we go.
Now, the smart thing this week for me would be to pick Oregon. 14 times I picked Oregon.
Right.
14 times. But since I've been in Seattle, I found out these people hate Oregon, right? Yeah. They hate them right here. And then, let me tell you, I haven't had much luck with dogs. So I'm picking ducks, dogs, ducks, dogs, ducks.